Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jake the Metalhead, and today is my first Triple Threat review of the year. And today we have Architects with For Those Who Wish to Exist, Chevelle with Neradius, or Nothing Is Real and This Is a Simulation, and the new A Day to Remember album, You're What? You're What? You're Welcome. Okay, let's get the crap out of the way first. This thing has been through development hell for more than a year, starting back in 2019 when they released the dumpster fire song that is Degenerates, and being signed to Fueled by Ramen, who I will unleash hell upon if they decide they want to try and copyright strike this video for having live footage in it and no fucking sound, like a certain someone did to my CMFT review, cough cough, UMG. Anyways, this thing is a disappointment of a record. Everything is either forgettable, like the songs Mind Reader, Re-Entry, Brick Wall, Only Money, and Viva La Mexico, which, by the way, I was scared to death of being an ADTR attempt at Latin pop for some reason. Or everything is just outright bad, like FYM, aka Fuck You Money, ironic title. Everything We Need, again, ironic title. High Diving, which has the line in the chorus, "It's hard to practice what you preach, so when life's a beach, I'm high diving." And the aforementioned song Degenerates, which has the most what the fuck chorus section I've heard in a long ass time. Literally, there is only one good song on this album, and it's Permanent, which is the most ADTR that ADTR gets on an ADTR record. I think it's safe to say Fueled by Ramen absolutely screwed these guys over, because these guys are really talented musicians and I've heard them do so much better than this. And no disrespect to the band, but I don't know what these guys were going to get out of being signed to Fueled by Ramen Noodles. Overall, this album ended up being extremely disappointing for me. None of the guys sounded like they wanted to record this thing, and nor did they have any passion on this thing. I firmly believe that Fueled by Campbell's Chicken Noodle Soup sucked the life out of these guys. I don't think this is nearly as bad as some other music critics that I watch say, but it's still not good at all. I'm not angry with this thing though, I'm just disappointed. So with that being said, I give You're Welcome a 3 out of 10. Okay, so let's move on to a band who was able to evolve their sound and make it work for them, shall we? Okay, so Architects is a band that I have once again very shittily covered on this channel in my old style. Say what you want about my old style, at least I had good taste in music back then. Anyways, I forgot about these guys a little bit until a couple of months before they released the lead single on this thing, Animals, which is an absolute banger by the way. I ended up getting Holy Hell on CD, blasted it in my car, and fell back in love with these guys. But this is a review for the new album and not a Holy Hell redo review, which I low-key kind of want to do. So with that being said, what do I think of this album? Fucking awesome. As I've said, Animals is a banger, as well as Black Lungs, which on a side note, I really dig and respect how frontman Sam Carter took a step back on vocals, at least for the most part, and shows just how good of a vocalist he is by taking a step back on vocals, and he still sounds really fucking good. The rest of the band sounds really good on this thing too, taking a bit of a step back as well as leaving the room for experimentation. Dead Butterflies is a beautiful example of this and shows that these guys still know how to make a beautiful song.
Dead butterflies, what can be better than a dead butterfly?
However, these guys are a metal band after all, and these guys still bring the heaviness and brutality that they are known for. Like my favorite songs on this thing, Discourse Instead, which combines heaviness with one of the best choruses on this album, and Ordinary Extinction, which is as old school Architects as Sam Carter gets vocally, and Impermanence, which has a guest spot from Winston fucking McCall of Parkway fucking Drive. And despite Parkway being on a small hiatus at the moment, Winston still proves that he is a force to be reckoned with vocally. And that ain't the only notable feature. Michael Kerr from Royal Blood appears on Little Wonders, which has a pretty good breakdown as well, despite being a little more toned back. I'd say my only real complaints on this thing are Giving Blood and Meteor. They aren't too bad. They're not even like bad songs even, but I feel they do bring the album down a couple notches considering there are so many better songs on this thing. Overall, this album is absolutely great. It's brutal in the right spots and absolutely beautiful in the other spots. The features work absolutely well. Holy shit. Especially Winston's feature. He has some of the best lows I've ever heard in metalcore, I must say. Anyways, I feel that these guys are going to move on and become one of the greatest metal bands to ever grace this earth, and I cannot wait to see what these guys do next. Like I said, these guys were able to evolve their sound but still make it sound like Architects. And even though Meteor and Giving Blood are the only weak points I have on this album, those songs aren't outright bad or even terrible for that matter, but there's just still better songs on this thing that I would go to. So with that being said, I give For Those Who Wish to Exist a 9 out of 10. Okay, what's next? Oh yeah, the new Chevelle album, that's right. I would just like to point out that the lead singer Pete Loeffler straight up said if fans don't like this album, it may be years before they release another one. Oh, Pete, I'm sorry, brother, but spoiler alert, this is getting a really high score for me. So yeah, Chevelle have come down on hard times, not only with the current world situation, which I will not mention or get into, and longtime bassist Dean Bernardini parting ways with the band in 2019. It's safe to say this album has had a rough development cycle. However, unlike ADTR, who ended up flopping with an album that went through development hell, Chevelle independently took their time and they created once again something unique. This album is a concept album about space travel, and on top of being a major improvement on the North Corridor, which isn't bad, but a bit forgettable. The guitar work on this thing is stellar, like on the single Self-Destructor and Peach. Even though I can play Peach on the guitar, at least the opening part, and y'all know how bad I am at guitar. Anyway, the drumming on this thing is also really good, as well as drummer Sam Loeffler providing the groundwork for some banger tracks like the two songs mentioned earlier, as well as Mars Stimuli, which gives very serious vibes of an island off of La Gargola, and Ghost and Razor, which is a nice slow burn of a track with some cool modulation on Pete's voice. Speaking of Pete, he also sounds at his best on this thing with arguably his best vocal work, like on Self-Destructor, Pistol Star, Gravity Heals, and Remember When, where he lays out some powerful vocal work. Lost in Digital Woods, the album closer, I feel is a pretty unique song and a pretty unique way to end off the album, with it being spoken word off some soft guitar and also including, I'm almost positive, the first ever F-bomb I remember hearing on a Chevelle record. So yeah, there's that going for it as well. I don't know. It's something weird I point out to myself, because I'm a little weird myself, but y'all should know that by now. Overall, I really dig this thing. The guitars and drums are great. This is Pete Loeffler's best vocal work in terms of pushing his limits and his range, as well as combining his more melodic side with his screams. The heavier songs are absolute standouts, as well as some of the more experimental tracks. So it looks like Pete and Sam will not be able to take a break anytime soon, because at least in my eyes, this is another great record as Chevelle continues to fail at making a bad record. So, with that being said, I give Nothing Is Real and This Is a Simulation a 9 out of 10. That's it from me, guys. Huge shout out to my buddy Ryan for editing this thing. His channel will be in the description, as well as my Instagram, where I post video updates, as well as updates for my bands New Veins and Psycho Love. So be sure to give me a follow, and all three albums will also be in the description as well. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on these records, so be sure to leave a comment. like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more videos coming soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.